This is the Thunder 1ST, Velotric's brand new e-bike. This is a Class 1 350 watt, 20 mile an hour e-bike that has virtually no wires and pretty much just looks like a normal road bike. In this video, I'm going to take this bike for a spin around my neighborhood and show you some of the things that I like and don't like about it. So let's get right into it. But first, thank you so much to Velotric for sending this out for me to review.
Heck yeah, dude. Look at this.
Yes, it's an e-bike. Why am I doing a review on an e-bike? This is very different than what I typically post on this YouTube channel, but it does fall into the tech category a little bit, so I figured it would fit in somehow. I also really wanted this product just for myself, and so when they reached out to send it to me for a review, there was no way I was gonna say no to that. All right, so we got everything set up here. I'm just gonna do a quick walk around and then we'll go out and test this thing. This is the medium size, so there's two sizes that this comes in. A small, which is meant for like people who are 5'1" to 5'8", and then the medium is for people who are like 5'5" to 6 foot. I'm 6 feet tall, so I went with the medium, and it seems to be a pretty solid size overall. This is the sand color, which I think looks awesome. It has kind of like a deserty look, which I really enjoy. This is not a part of the bike, by the way. I added that. This just is for a bike lock right here. Seat here, the seat, you have to use a tool to loosen it down here. Ignore that. You have to use a tool to loosen it so you can raise the seat, which I don't know if I like or don't like. I guess it's good for bike theft because you can't just take the seat off, but it's kind of inconvenient to just adjust it all the time. This is their proprietary E35 torque sensor. So as you pedal, that sensor is going to push the bike along and essentially power it. The tires seem really nice. The gears and everything seem really nice. It's a pretty standard like Shimano 8-speed gear. Of course, we have the bell. You gotta have that. And you can see there's like pretty much no wires anywhere, which I really like. The only wires you're gonna see really is just this wire, which connects to the headlamp or the headlight, which is powered on automatically, which you could turn on and off right here. And this is how you adjust all of your speeds. So you've got all the speeds. I'll get into that once I get riding. There's also a spot here where you can put your phone. So if you're using any apps while you're riding, it's always nice to have your phone right there. However, the 3M piece that came with this fell off immediately, so I had to Gorilla Glue it on. Here it is, all built up. I'm gonna go ahead and get suited up and take this thing out for a ride. Luckily for me, it is about 100 degrees outside. So you two get to stay home, which is awesome in the AC. All right, so right now I have no power on here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. Let's go over to normal mode. You feel the motors kick on right here. All right, so let's run it through this bike right here. This is a Class 1 350 watt hour e-bike, meaning it tops out at 20 miles an hour as opposed to like a Super 73, which I think is like a Class 2 or a Class 3 that has a throttle that goes a little bit faster. Instead of, woo. Okay, phone just fell off. That did not work. I'm gonna go and put that in my pocket. All right, so that's strike 2 on this piece right here. Honestly, would not recommend using this for your phone. Get something a little better because that's the second time that's fallen off, and that was with like Gorilla Glue. This is a Class 1 350 watt hour e-bike. Now the difference between this versus like a Super 73 is the fact that it uses a propeller motor as opposed to like a throttle. So it's not like you're riding around on a motorcycle where whenever you hit the throttle, it's going to give you power. This thing is pretty much just powered by you pedaling. So this is great for whenever you want to just, you know, commute around the city, but you're not necessarily doing this for cardio, which I'm absolutely not using this bike for cardio. So this bike has 5 different speed options. You've got your eco mode, your tour mode, normal mode, sport mode, and turbo modes. These different modes don't really have anything to do with the actual speed of the bike. It's more so like how fast it propels you. So with normal mode, you can just feel like as you pedal, it's gonna propel you at like a decent rate. But as you move, let's go into sport mode here. Once I get around this corner, I start pedaling and this thing kicks on a lot faster. So I'm pedaling at the same rate that I was in normal mode, but it got me up to that 20-mile-an-hour speed pretty quick. What I like about this bike, and kind of the reason why I wanted an e-bike like this, is because I wanted to be able to ride around and maybe go up to a coffee shop or up to the park and ride the trails. But I'm not really doing it for like physical activity necessarily. I just want something that's fun to ride. And this thing's fun to ride because as you pedal, it's doing most of the work for you. It's keeping you up to speed, so you're not really exerting energy necessarily. You're able to go longer distances without having to like huff and puff it all the way over to wherever you're going. For reference, this is the medium size, and there are two sizes. You can get the small or the medium. I'm 6 feet tall, and this bike is about the perfect length for me overall. I think I would still be able to get away with the small, but it would definitely be cutting it close. I'd rather have a slightly larger bike. The range on this thing is like 52 miles, which I'll probably never ride in a single session, but it's cool that you can go that far. I'm usually riding like, I don't know, maybe no more than 4 to 8 miles at a time. If I go on like a bike trail at the local park, I can hit like 8 miles or so, but I'm never really gonna juice this thing out. I usually keep it in sport and turbo mode just because it's a little more fun to ride that way, but it's not really killing the battery too much because I'm only going less than 10 miles. So if you are gonna be using this thing for long distances, maybe you live in a larger city where the commute's a little more, then it's definitely going to be beneficial to use the normal mode or like the eco mode where the battery is gonna be saved a little bit better. Build quality seems pretty solid for a bike. I mean, you are spending over $1,000 on this thing, so you expect quality. This definitely has quality. I like the grips, I like the handlebars, I like the seat. It all feels solid. My only concern is, and I don't know if you can hear it in the audio, but you can kind of hear that like clanking, and it sounds like it's coming down from the gears. Now this could totally be a me issue because again, I'm new to bikes. So it could definitely be just a user error, but curious if you are familiar with these bikes, hit me up in the comments and tell me if it's a thing, if it's me, or if it's a build quality issue. But otherwise, everything feels good. I really like how the handles are kind of set back like this. Feels very comfortable, especially I'm sure if you're riding long distances with this thing, it would probably be pretty comfortable. Another cool feature about this is that it has Find My iPhone built into it. So it basically is like a riding AirTag. You just set it up on your phone and then it tracks itself. So it's nice if you're locking your bike somewhere, you wanna know where it's at all times. If for whatever reason someone does steal it, there's probably not much you can do, but at least you would be alerted and you can try to catch up or whatever you wanna do. I'm not gonna condone anything, but it is nice to know where the bike is gonna be at all times. It's incredibly easy to set up, and it is nice that this bike has it. That's one of the like tech features that this bike has that you would hope you have something like that in a bike that is at this price point. Aside from all the e-bike features here, it really does just feel like a normal bike. This thing is only 36 pounds, so you can carry it around like a normal bike, unlike, again, a Super 73 or like a larger e-bike, which is going to have a lot more battery, is gonna have a lot more on it, feels more like a motorcycle. This thing just feels like a bicycle, which I like. Easier to store, and it's just easier to ride around. If you don't want to use it as an e-bike, you don't have to, and that's pretty cool for me. If I like actually wanted to use this as a bicycle and get a little bit of cardio in, I could turn the motor off and just bike normally. It's just super fun to ride around. I like that it feels like a normal bike. It doesn't feel too big or too clunky. Like if I have to overtake this thing and maneuver it around on my own, I feel like I can without having any crazy issues. Like it doesn't feel like I'm pushing along a heavy bicycle. I am bummed about this because this is a cool feature for sure, as far as having your phone sitting here, using the Strava app or whatever it is. If you have the beefier model of this, the Thunder 1, then you can actually connect to the app and they have all of their info within that. Gears feel really nice. It's a Shimano 8-speed gear. Brakes feel really good, which is obviously important. You saw back there when my phone fell off, I had to stop really quick. All right, finally back to the house. I'm done riding outside today because it is terribly hot outside. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up in here. All right, do I think this bike is worth it and should you buy it? Now, that's not my place in a review to tell you to buy it or not. I'm simply showing you my experience with it, the things I like, the things I don't like, and you can take that for your own research when looking for your own e-bike. However, I have really enjoyed having this for the past month or so. I love riding it around in the streets. I love taking it to coffee shops, and I've had no real issues with this bike. I think the quality of it is incredible, besides a couple of those quirks that were shown in the video. Now, take all of that information that I've given you today and use it for your own research when looking for your own e-bike. Now, if you are interested in this bike, I will leave a link. They do have it for $200 off right now online at the time of recording this video. So if that's an incentive for you, be sure to check it out and check out some of their other bikes. And again, do your own research before you purchase anything. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions at all about this bike and anything that I didn't cover, be sure to hit me up in the comments and I'll try my best to respond to everything that I can. But that's gonna do it for me. I will see you all in the next video.